Hello everyone, my name is Alexandra Vera and this is Module 5. I will be presenting the topic Identifying Data Analysis Tools for Teaching, and this is part of the Assessing Students class for online educators. For the Module 5 objectives, by the end of this module, all instructors will be able to identify various digital tools for data analysis in online education and apply these tools to identify learning gaps and make informed decisions to modify instructional materials. On our agenda, we have part 5.1, which is identifying data analytics tools for online education, in which I will be providing you some learning management systems that you can use in your classroom. Then for part 5.2, we will be looking at how to apply data analysis to identify learning gaps. For part 5.3, I have implementing changes based on data analysis. We will review a few steps to do that. And then same for 5.4, we will be reviewing steps on evaluating effectiveness of changes. Then at the end, you will also have a quiz and a feedback forum where you can provide your feedback for this module. So let's get started. For 5.1, we have data analytics tools for online education. And these are some examples of learning management systems that offer data analytics tools. So we have Canvas Analytics Tools. They offer more of a basic approach to data, providing a dashboard where you can review your course activity and student engagement. They also offer individual student analytics, where you can review student performance, their participation, and assignment completion. And then they do offer some engagement metrics, where you can track students' time spent on course materials and how frequently they are logging into your class. Then we have Edmodo Analytics Tools, which they are kind of our midpoint level of data analysis for education. They offer progress tracking. So while Canvas offers you to view their activity after they have completed assignments, with Edmodo you can actually see their progression. So you can monitor their students' progress on their assignments and assessments. They also do offer engagement metrics, analyzing participation in discussions and group activities. And they do offer this cool feature of exporting data. So you can export the data from your course, and then you can analyze it using outside platforms or different softwares. Then we have Schoology Analytics Tools, and they are more of the advanced software, and they are pretty much created for learning analysis and involving data in the classroom. So they offer performance reports, which are detailed reports on student performance, assignment submissions, and participation. They offer activity tracking, where you can monitor engagement levels through metrics like discussion participation and resource views. And their greatest feature is these customizable dashboards, where you can create your own dashboard based on the data that you want to see daily for your classroom. So they offer highlighting the most relevant data for your specific needs. After viewing these learning management systems, I invite you to take a look at the following videos. So I'm including some videos from actual teachers and educators explaining each one of these management systems. So I invite you to view the video and then provide a discussion or your own opinion on which one you think would work best for your needs, and discuss with your peers. So let's get started with 5.2, applying data analysis to identify learning gaps. So I'm providing this chart, kind of an overview chart, so you can look at the best practices to use, which is number 1, set clear objectives, set clear goals for engagements and other metrics, communicate goals and findings both with your students and parents, and then combine data sources to make sure that you're viewing the right data. Don't rely on just one, rely on multiple data sources. So how to collect data? Look at engagement metrics, look at quizzes and assignments. You can also create live polls asking for student or parent feedback. Then analyze data. How to do this? Low engagement areas are for reinforcement. For quizzes and tests, look at low-scoring questions. Those are also areas for reinforcement. Cross-reference engagement and low score. So if you're seeing low engagement in some areas, you are probably also going to see low scores in those areas, and those are the areas to focus on and improve. And then analyze feedback for future improvements. And then how to visualize data. Use dashboards, create reports, then look at individual students, identify them at risk, hopefully prior to them failing the class or failing a part of the class, and then use predictive analysis to flag at-risk student or area. So you have to look at patterns and then use those patterns to identify students that might be struggling in areas. Let's move on to a discussion. What are some of the pros and cons of assessing student through data? And then pause the lesson here, post your comments, and discuss with your peers. And then afterwards, I will come back and I will share some of my own thoughts and opinions. Okay, so my own opinion is that data should be a tool. It is important to balance the use of data. You are still the expert, you are still the educator, and the data, even though it's a great tool, and it should be used, especially now that we have so much material that we can use to create data and so many softwares and different learning management systems that help you. So use it as a tool to identify risks and improve on areas, but also know that you as the educator are the expert, or if you're an administrator, your educators should still be the experts. It is important to combine your own set of beliefs, because using too much data and too much prediction can lead also to some sort of bias. So make sure that you're using data as a tool and still use your own expertise. Okay, now we're going to be reviewing 5.3, implement changes based on data analysis. So some steps to implement changes once you've identified those areas of risk are identify the key areas for improvement. So pinpoint specific subjects, skills, or content areas where students are underperforming or disengaged. Then pilot programs. Introduce new instructional strategies or resources in select classes or material. Make sure that you're testing and that you're collecting data as you do that. And then review that data for expansion or restructure. And then collect ongoing data. So after implementing changes, it is important that you continue to gather data on student performance and engagements to assess the effectiveness of their new approaches. Now for 5.4, evaluating effectiveness of changes. Some steps to evaluate effective changes are analyze post-implementation data, compare new data with baseline data to evaluate improvements, look for evidence in enhanced student outcomes or engagement levels, adjust implementation based on results. So use the analysis of post-implementation data to refine teaching practices further, identify what worked well and what needs adjustment, and then share insights and best results. So it is important to share with your community. This data analysis on education is a new area for most educators. So it is important to share the results with all educators and then foster a collaborative learning environment. All right, and we've reached the end of the module. So we hope this module has provided you with valuable insights into the essential role of data analysis in assessing students through online education, by identifying effective data analytics tools, applying data analysis to pinpoint learning gaps, implementing changes based on your findings, and evaluating the effectiveness of those changes. You can create a more responsive and engaging learning environment. And again, my aim is to encourage the balanced use of data to assess and support students effectively. Again, data is a tool, and this knowledge can empower you to enhance your educational practices. So in the next slides, you will find a review quiz and discussion for anonymous feedback. The passing score for this quiz is at least 80%. If you do not pass, I require you to go back and review the material before moving on to the next module. So question 1, what are some examples of learning management systems that offer data analytics? And here you have the correct answer. Question 2, what were some of the best practices mentioned in the lesson when implementing data analytics through learning management systems in your classroom? And here you have the correct answer. Question 3, what is one of the areas to look like when analyzing data to identify learning gaps? And here you have the right answer. Question 4, what would be the first step to follow if you want to start implementing data to implement changes in the classroom? And here you have the correct answer. Question 5, what is the last step on evaluating the effectiveness of the implemented changes? A, set. And here you have the correct answer. And now I invite you to provide feedback in this discussion forum. The comments will remain anonymous. And please share your honest thoughts and opinions on if you found this module useful and how will you apply it in the classroom. Thank you, everyone.